The following is an exclusive original presentation of the 252 ESPN Radio Network.
The drive starts right now.
Starts right now.
Just living the dream.
Here's a guy who gets paid to talk.
Are you ready for the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment?
No, he did. I'm doing a radio show, so what? The most anticipated radio show ever.
Right on three. 1, 2, 3.
Well, happy Monday. This is the Drive East Carolina Sports Show on your ride home. I'm Mark Banicelli, Sam Avalos.
Yes, sir.
Happy Monday to you, sir.
Happy Monday. Sitting inside of Studio 7.0. I guess we can call this the latest rendition of all of our redesigns.
Yes, the latest. Oh, that's terrible.
Everything's messing up, man.
What is going on?
My headset's messing up.
My headset's
Can you hear
messing
anything?
One ear.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
One ear. I don't know what's happening.
I'm done with this one, too. I'm going back to the earphones. I don't care if they pull out of my ear.
Hey, it's tough, man. It's tough. And it's a Monday, our first Monday that we're coming back to work with, golf stories?
Golf stories!
Golf stories, and maybe you'll watch some motor racing over the weekend. The truth is, there's also impending vacation. A week from today, there will be neither one of us here doing the show. And then that will be the standard for the next 2 weeks. So there is sort of a last week of school feel about this week at work, isn't it?
Yes, 100%. Carolina's not even here today.
No.
Carolina is literally getting ready to be off for the next month. And she's not here today.
Yes.
And we didn't know until like 11 o'clock. We called her because we needed her.
I was
like, hey, are you coming in today? Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, okay.
But that's the last
Thanks
week
for
of
the
school.
Heads up. Right. Yeah,
the last week of school, it's like it's all crazy and it's all haywire and you don't know what's going to go on. And, hey, you just adapt, right? You adapt to the changing surroundings and you move on.
Yes.
From a sport, now we've got the plan today is to start sports trivia battle for 2018 and to start it today. You and I, Carolina's not here. We were talking about needing her. So we are going to go back to what was a very controversial end last year to sports trivia battle. Daryl Harris. There was some questions about how that round ended, the one you won last year.
Yep, the only one I won last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if it was the only one, but it was definitely one that you did, and we're going to have to rely on Daryl today to get us through sports trivia battle. But we've got some tickets to give away, right? Today, we because these are tickets for Friday's Washington Nationals game.
Friday's Washington Nationals game. It's a 7:05 first pitch. They are taking on Philadelphia Phillies. I'm actually going to be up there on Sunday to catch the Sunday matchup of this series.
Nice.
But we've got a pair of tickets to the Washington Nationals game Friday night. We want to send you there. We've got a post up on our Facebook page right now. We're going to be doing this in just a little while, so you want to make sure that you get in this contest right now. There's already a lot of people, but we're going to do the sports trivia battle, I guess 2 rounds of it today.
Yes.
And we're going to just do a total score, and whoever wins. If you select Team Mark or Team Sam, it seems like the majority of people right now, I'm a little hurt by this, are going Team Mark.
I haven't checked yet. Sorry.
If you go Team Mark or Team Sam and your representative wins, your name will go into the magical NC State football helmet we now have here, and we will draw out the winner. I guess we'll do that tomorrow morning or maybe later today. I don't know. We'll see.
So that's something. And Brian North is going to join us today. Back from vacation himself. He is coming back. We're about to leave. And that's the way it's going to be for the next few weeks before football season digs its heels into our lives. So everybody was, I'm going to tell you, like a lot of folks, I disconnected from some sports. I did watch almost 24 hours of motor racing this weekend. And I watched a little bitty piece of golf. I did watch a couple of the soccer matches from the World Cup. But the big story going into this Monday that I'm hearing everybody talk about is not even this Koepka guy, right? Koepka, is it?
Koepka, Brooks Koepka,
Yeah.
Repeat U.S. Open champion. I think
Back to
just
back.
the 7th time. Don't quote me on this, but the 7th time we've had that in history.
But the first since Curtis Strange, who has strange Newbern ties.
Strange.
Very strange. Yeah. The real story is Phil Mickelson, is it not, Lefty? Who apparently had what I think. I just want to say that what he did. While you can't put me in the circles of serious golf guy. I'm not that guy. I've played golf, and I've played golf on some really nice courses, and I've always been bad at it. And I'll be honest with you, what's the word I'm looking for? My golf etiquette. Is that the word? I'm not the one who's going to really be bad Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, we don't care. We're not like sticklers for the rules. We're not
because that's something that could have happened to me on a golf course. I think I've done something similar to what he did on a golf course. I saw that what I was doing was wrong, and I got frustrated, and I acted upon it.
Right. We don't consider ourselves like the honor guard of golf's code of etiquette. Like, that is not who we are, but there are a lot of people out there, and what I found out over the weekend was a lot more of these people than I ever thought could possibly even be out there, because I know people love their golf, and I know, you know what, you have to dress nicely, you can't show up, you certainly can't do something like wear blue jeans on the course, but
shorts. Yeah,
right, shorts, whatever it is. But Phil Mickelson, so if you didn't see it, what happened was on hole number 13, Phil Mickelson was putting for, oh gosh, I don't know, he might have been putting for bogey. A little bit of a downhill slope, and he runs it past the hole, and the ball starts to pick up speed just a little bit. And Phil Mickelson, in a brilliant display of athleticism that we've never seen before on a golf course, takes off sprinting around the hole to catch his ball. And while the ball is still moving, similar to what you would see a child do on a putt-putt golf course, a miniature golf course, Phil Mickelson circles the ball and just with one hand swings at it and knocks it back the other way. He almost made it, but he missed it. He rolled it past the hole. I think he two-putted from there. He scored a 10. So it's a double par plus 2 on a par 4. I don't even think they have a name for a double par plus 2 on a single hole in golf. But that's what Phil did, and people were outraged. And I want to say I did not watch any of the golf on Saturday. It was Sunday morning I woke up to this. And I saw a couple of the highlights. I was like, okay, let me check it out. I watched the video. I immediately laughed at it. I was like, it's funny. Phil was already out of contention at this point. He did something stupid, and he kind of laughed it off. He was perfectly paired with Beef Johnson, the English golfer, the big heavyset guy with the big old beard that everyone fell in love with, who everybody refers to as Beef. He was Phil's partner on that Saturday when it happened, and they were laughing as they were walking off the hole together. Beef Johnston is just holding up his hands like, I've never seen anything like that. No one's ever seen anything like that on a golf course. I was having fun with it until I saw the media scrum that was surrounding Phil afterwards, and the first guy that asked him a question said something along the lines of he was offended. He thought what Phil did was disrespectful. And I've seen a lot of that from the golf police, the golf etiquette police on Twitter, on Facebook, whatever it is. And I'm not buying it. And that is such a turnoff to me on the sport and how the sport is handled and discussed and covered. If you're going to take something that was kind of a funny moment from a guy who's one of the game's greatest of all times, who has shown nothing but utmost respect for the game, maybe not the stock market, but the game, Phil Mickelson has always had the utmost respect for. He is a several-time major champion. He does one thing that I thought was hilarious. It was funny. He tried to justify it in some weird way. I wish he had just owned up to it. But once people start throwing out disrespecting the game, whatever it is, this was no more disrespectful to me than somebody flopping on the soccer field or somebody flopping in a game of basketball or Rodney Hood not wanting to check himself back into a game in favor of LeBron James during the playoffs. It was just another thing that an athlete probably just didn't think it through, and I don't categorize it as disrespectful. I categorize it, especially from someone like Phil Mickelson, as funny and really the most iconic thing that's happened in golf over the last 5 years.
Yeah, I think, though, how funny it would be, you were talking about, why would you like to feel that if you had to approach the gods of golf and the two dudes protecting that room were me and Sam as you approached, the temple of golf, the gods of golf. I appreciate everyone loving the game and taking it so seriously. It has this odor. It's a similar odor of Unwritten Rules of Baseball guy, where it's like, come on, man. The problem is when you say disgrace to the game, you're going to say that same statement to like the guy who beats himself up and claims that someone kidnapped him because he's got some sort of drug problem. That disgracing the game, you just got to be careful. You're throwing these words out here like, oh, a guy who flips a bat after a home run and pumps his fist. There were people that were saying that about Tiger Woods with the fist pump. Remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
I cannot even begin to act like I'm super offended. And I don't know whether it's, the other odor that I get is sort of like the, I hate to do this, but I mean, man, when you're the Red Rifle and you get offended by J.J. Watt's BB gun comment, it's like, to me, it's like you're either fake offended, which offends me, because you're not really disgusted by the act, or really you are disgusted by the act, and I just can't take you seriously anymore because I'm like, really? This is what's going to this is where I draw the line. You've ruined the game. And it's like, come on, really? Right. And this is the one, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one championship that Phil hasn't won.
Correct.
So this, to me, the frustration level the fact that was a humanizing moment for Phil Mickelson, who otherwise a lot of times just looks like one of these athletes that we really can't relate to because of whatever reason. Phil had been the guy that I think a lot of golfers related to, because I mean, how could you, Tiger's good looking, he's young, marrying supermodels, he never misses a shot. He really wasn't humanized until he was on a dash cam, unable to use common English.
Or, when his wife put a golf club through the back of his Buick.
Right. Phil had sort of been that way because of the man boobs and the, can I say that? Because
I have him, you have him.
He was just sort of like that guy, but because he was a great golfer, hard to really. And then he's so successful, financially well off, so it's hard for people. But when you saw him on the golf course chasing that ball around, you've either been there on the golf course or on a putt-putt course, and I don't care. And I get golf doesn't want you to use putt-putt in the same sentence. I get it, but really. What's the truth of the matter is golf should ask itself, what are people spending their money on nowadays? Remember the big golf boom? I would say the putt-putt world may be taking some of your money on the weekends now.
No. I guarantee you the golf course economy is doing far better than the putt-putt course economy.
But the golf, well, then that's sad for the putt-putt community because the golf course economy is not doing well.
Yeah.
But
not that bad, man.
But I would say, good luck, golf. Like, if this is the way you're going to act, good luck.
Yeah, I guess that's it. It's like, I don't know. I guess the media side of it, like the people who really cover golf and, are so passionate about it, and the people who do consider themselves the protectors of the sport and whatever it is, I somewhat understand their outrage. I'm not going to say it equates directly to, the whole kneeling for the anthem thing. That's obviously a couple different shades of gray there. But similar to that, like the football purists and the super hyper patriotic people are the ones who get offended by that. This is the same thing. It's the people who really are crazy about the sport or get so offended by it. What I don't like is the guy or whoever is watching who on Sundays is the armchair quarterback and, doesn't really isn't so invested, but then when something like this happens, it's a lot of false outrage. It seems like there's a lot of that. If you look on Facebook, you look at social media, whatever it is, and people are just fussing about Phil, and it's disrespectful. How many of those people, okay, yesterday was Father's Day. There were countless families across the United States who were sitting around with their father watching the U.S. Open. These people don't have any ties to golf other than the fact that they enjoy golf and like watching golf, similar to a lot of people maybe listening to us right now. Think about the last time you stepped out onto a golf course. What did you do that was possibly disrespectful to said golf course? Did you do something disrespectful? Did you take a lot of mulligans? The last time I played on a golf course, I got to the 18th tee. It was overlooking the water, and I turned sideways on the tee box, and I launched about 5 golf balls across the river. That's what I do on a golf course. I spend all of my time on a golf course messing around, screwing around, having a good time. Phil did that for one lapse of judgment in his 20-plus years on the PGA Tour, and everybody is crucifying this guy over something that I think we really should just be laughing about. And as you said, humanized him and maybe just brought a little bit more relatability to a sport that oftentimes has a stick up its rear end. So I thought it was funny. Everybody's hating on Phil. I've seen stuff like this is going to ruin his legacy. No one's going to remember this in a year and a half. You're not going to look back and be like, oh, Phil Mickelson. In 30 years, you're not going to look back. Phil Mickelson, yeah, he's a great golfer, but man, what a jerk. That one time he putted the ball while it was still moving. No, it didn't do anything. He was well out of contention anyways. It was a funny moment. I wish everybody would just laugh about it, like everything in the world.
Right. By the way, putt-putt industry is doing awful. Golf, though, 30% fewer golfers in the last 10 years, but has stabilized after a big drop-off.
So you were that upset that I called you out for that?
Oh, no. I mean, I just knew golf was much less popular than it was
right.
a few years ago.
But you don't see putt-putt courses booming up all across
the
state.
No. I definitely see less of them than I've I think ever seen. I think the putt-putt craze is putt-putt and bowling.
Well, see, I actually earlier this summer, I went to an establishment here in Eastern North Carolina. I'm not going to name them, because they've been giving me the runaround on this whole coming on to do some advertising thing. They had both bowling and putt-putt, and I went to this establishment several years ago. It was nice. I went back, a little dingy, not as crowded as it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe you do need some advertising, Mac Daddies.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think there's less
putt-putt course is in rough shape.
I think there are less people playing putt-putt and bowling. Without question. But I don't think things like, let me clarify too. I don't think like the snooty attitude of Phil Mickelson's hurting the game of golf doesn't probably keep people off the golf course, so to speak. But I think the attitude of some folks, maybe golf country.
So is that what golf needs to do?
Country club, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Is that what golf needs to do to maybe make a comeback? Is like, hey, lighten up a little bit. Like sometimes I do just want to pack a 12-pack and go out there with shorts and a T-shirt and just go whack the ball around for a while. But I also understand when, like you said, country club, oftentimes it's a country club. You need membership fees and stuff like that, and people hate the quote-unquote riffraff showing up.
Yeah, and I mean, the truth of the matter is, I like the old Seinfeld joke. I mean, these people, they wait their whole lives to retire and then enforce these rules. So
Right.
Who are we to not have put in the time and retire and do all those things? They don't want the riffraff and all that kind of stuff. I get it.
Sounds like a business idea to me. Is let's start like Redneck Golf Course.
But
let's reopen Quaker Neck. That was Redneck Golf.
Right. But I mean, and I mean that's what the golf industry has to ask itself. What? I mean, again, as I said, we're probably going off of a different tangent, but I thought it was a great moment for golf, which they just weren't able to. To me, it falls right in line with guy who flips his bat in baseball, and like half the audience is completely offended that he did it, and the other people can't figure out why you're so offended. I think that's exactly what this is. Yep. We got a great show. Is Brian North next? I think Brian North is next. We'll come back. We'll have Brian North, and then sports trivia battle. We'll find out who didn't get enough sleep this weekend. Oh, that was me.